hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Afterbite. It's a Vampire Diaries fan cast that's only 10 years too late. We're here. It is a Tuesday?
I think so. I don't know how time works
this
anymore.
episode will come out on a Tuesday. It's either a Tuesday or a Friday, but I think it'll be a Tuesday.
Okay, great.
I say that is a lie.
Okay.
Wait. Tuesday? No,
Well,
it is Tuesday.
it's
It
a
is Tuesday.
Tuesday.
I counted it out.
It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
We don't record these episodes way ahead of time. Why would you think that?
No,
we record
don't
them
do
day
that.
of 5 minutes before we're up.
Exactly. We record them on Monday night and we upload them Tuesday morning.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's
because
Monday
it's
night
like-
right now.
Yep.
We shouldn't lie.
No, we should
We
be
should
honest.
not lie.
We should be honest.
This week, we're being honest, and we're talking about episode 306, Smells Like Teen Spirit.
I was about to say you forgot the.
No? No?
The smell
There's
of
no
teen,
the?
the smell like teen.
Smell like the teen spirit. Smell like teen the spirit.
The
Where
smell
would the go?
The smell
Smells
of
the
teen,
like teen
spirit. The smell of teen spirit. That's
That's what I was
be.
thinking of. My brain was like, because I have a headache right now. And my brain was just like, oh, wait, that's wrong.
But also I can see how you would think that because we have had so many the episodes recently
We
that
have-
like you're like, yeah, no, you know what? Just throw a the in there. That'll be fine.
But
Yeah,
isn't
just why
it
not at this
weird
point?
how, like, except for the last episode, the majority of the episodes are just so bad? I wonder why.
It's because they were lazy.
Yeah, exactly.
They
It
were
was-
just
it's
bad
'cause they're
episodes.
lazy.
This week, though, they are not lazy. Boy, howdy, they're throwing a lot at us, and we are expected to catch it.
Mhm.
And spoiler alert, nobody has their catcher mitts on.
Nope.
Nobody catches anything.
Nope.
So much is being thrown in from every direction, and we can't. It's just, we can't. So the Netflix description for this episode is, as senior year begins, Elena, Caroline, Bonnie, and Matt are reeling from recent events, while Stefan carries out his latest assignment from Klaus.
Solid again.
Yeah, not bad actually. When you keep it simple, keep it to use the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yep.
Shit happened. Senior year is beginning. Stefan has shit to do from Klaus. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the whole episode. This is a good one. Netflix description writer, you're going on a good tear here, and I can't wait to see you come crashing back down,
Yeah.
as you will inevitably.
I can't wait. It's going to be fun.
Icarus flying too close to the sun. Your wings are gonna melt sometime, sweetheart. This episode opens up in the Gilbert house, where we haven't been in a while, and I'm excited to finally get back here. I
Yeah.
love it. Elena is waking up in the very early hours of the morning. She wakes up at 5:15 in the fucking morning. Hey,
And
Elena,
she's
love
al-
yourself.
And she's already awake. Like, she's been, like, looking at that alarm, like, do it. Go off.
Wait, is that
That's
not
the worst
normal?
part.
Is that not normal for other people?
Not at 5:15 in the fucking morning,
I have
Jordan.
to wake up at 5 in the morning for school every day for 4
I have
years.
to wake up at 5:30 tomorrow for work. So,
I'm just
No.
I
saying.
wake up at 5:30 every morning for work, but like I don't wake up before my alarm.
I sometimes do when I have anxiety.
Maybe like a minute or two, but not
when you're restless,
long enough for me
yeah.
to comprehend. Not enough for me to comprehend and stare at my phone, being like,
not
"You're gonna
long
go
enough for
off."
me to have a conversation with God about my choices.
Exactly. Exactly. God is not getting that back and forth this morning. Sometimes the world hurts, but sometimes waking up at 5:15 in the morning hurts more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, Elena, just love yourself. So the reason she's waking up at 5:15 in the morning is vampire training.
Yay!
She's getting trained by Alaric on how to use the
This
weapons.
is the first time we see Alaric training someone. How sweet.
How sweet.
I know,
Fuck
right?
Matt Davis,
Yeah.
but
Fuck
Alaric,
Fuck
you're
Matt
pretty
Davis, Alaric, you my man.
good. For right now, Alaric, you're my man.
Alaric, you're my man for right now. Yes. Then you start to get
There's-
questionable.
There's a lot. There's a lot.
I can already see it coming. It's like in the horizon, you know?
It's like you can hear a train far off in the distance.
Uh-huh.
And you look down and you're tied to train tracks and you can hear it and it's very far off. All you can hear is the distant train horn, but you know
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's coming.
He's coming.
So he's training her on how to use like the. I always think of it as like an Assassin's Creed hidden blade
Mhm.
because that's just where my brain goes. But you
Yeah.
punch a vampire and the stake goes into them
Mm-hmm.
because of the force of your punch, which is fucking sick.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So fucking sick. And they have a little conversation about like, you know, how vampires are just the fucking worst,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they all need to die or whatever, right? And Elena says the line, which I just wanted to point out here because I just thought it was weird. Elena says, "No need to use pronouns. You can say Stefan."
Yeah.
I don't think that's exactly the point of using pronouns there. I think you need to use them even if you are referring to a person by name.
I mean, I get where she's coming from. She's like, don't beat around the bush, just say his name, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. But to say, no need to use pronouns. No, Elena, we use a lot of pronouns for a lot of other things besides saying the name. But okay, I'll allow it. It's 5:15 in the morning. You get a pass.
I think it's like one of those lines which happens a lot in the Vampire Diaries where you're just like, that was questionable at best. Who thought of that dialogue? That's not how normal people speak.
That's one of those where like they trained a robot. They made a robot read all of like Shakespeare's plays and
Mhm.
all of the previous episodes of TVD, and then they're like, write dialogue for us. And this is what it came up with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Something else truly about this exciting about this episode is we finally go back to school.
Yay.
It's the first day of senior year, gang.
This is the only time they actually do schoolwork.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for them to finally be getting back to school, getting back to somewhat of a normal.
Yep.
They're just getting back to it.
But like, even though they're getting back to normal, right? Something feels off. Something's off. Something's off.
You can't be normal anymore.
Nope.
You've had a lot of shit happen, but you know, you can't be normal anymore.
No, they cannot.
So, Caroline is like trying to have like a good, like, shit sucks, but we need to go on anyway attitude.
Yeah.
And I want to say, just personally, I really subscribe to that philosophy of like, shit sucks, but let's keep going anyway, folks.
Yeah, that's definitely my philosophy.
Extremely a very good philosophy just for life in general. So thanks, The Vampire Diaries. Maybe you got one thing right.
That's better than what I do, which is that like shit goes down and like, oh well, this is the worst. I'm gonna take a very long break and like wait to come back to this.
Nah, you gotta just keep going because eventually it'll get better. Caroline's having a good moment, and Elena brings up that this would have been 1 year since she met Stefan.
Oh,
It's also weird to think that it's also been an entire year since the pilot.
It feels like so much longer.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been like 20 years, and they're like, we're seniors now. It's like, dude, it's been a year.
You know what? This is literally 2020.
Yeah.
It feels so much has happened, but so little has happened.
Yeah. The show is a representation of 2020.
You're correct. It's also, it's wild to me. We released our episode on the pilot. Our first episode of Afterbite was released on the 6th of December, 2019. We've gone through these pretty fucking quick. It's been about half a year.
Wow,
A little
really?
over, yeah, it's been like, by the time this episode comes out, it'll be like 7 months since we posted our first episode.
I legitimately thought we started this in July.
We posted our first episode of Afterbite on the 6th of December. So to take that from where we were then in December of 2019, full of hope and wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, ready to take on the Vampire Diaries universe, to now.
And it's weird because I remember like sitting down to watch the first episode. I was like in my dorm room, before this whole COVID thing happened, and I no longer am allowed to be in my dorm room. And I was like sitting there watching it, and then my roommates come in because we had like a social room. So my roommates come in. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just watching this thing for a podcast." And then they just like 3 guys just sit down with me and start watching the Vampire Diaries.
Oh.
It feels like a lifetime ago, but it was only like 7 months ago.
Jesus
Wow, that's
Christ.
insane.
Anyway, senior year, gang.
Ugh.
Damon coming downstairs in the Salvatore house and finding a bunch of dead bodies of women.
Oh.
Great way to start off senior year, folks. We're keeping that senior year energy, I guess, because Stefan's playing Twister with a bunch of ladies who he's definitely compelled. And God, I love and hate bad boy Stefan.
Yeah.
It was during this scene where I was like, wow, this parallel, between Stefan and Damon, season 1 Damon.
Mm-hmm.
But also, Damon, you're not allowed to get angry at any of this. You're not allowed to
No.
actually say anything because you were this person. You're still kind of this person. So you're literally not allowed to say anything. And there's a line that Elena says later on in the episode where she's like, having one obnoxious boy is enough. And like, yeah, you're right, Elena. It's a lot now that both of them are the worst.
We need one to be like somewhat chill and then we can handle it. But if you're both obnoxious, get out of here.
Get out.
Just get out. The door's over there. You can leave. Speaking of the door, the front doorbell rings and Damon answers it to find Rebecca.
Queen.
She reveals that Klaus left her here. He just left her.
Well, that sucks.
And now she needs a place to stay. Rebecca, I'm so sorry every man does you so dirty.
I know. Poor
I mean, is it
Rebecca.
every man or is it mainly just Klaus?
It's
Every man does her pretty dirty.
There's been a lot of dirtiness done to Rebecca.
I mean, right now that we know of,
Yes.
now-
As of right now that we know of,
it's just
the only
Klaus.
man that has let Rebecca Michelson down has been her brother.
Exactly.
And I love how she just bursts in like with shopping bags and she's like, great, which one was mine?
And neither of them answer, so she's like, fine, fuck you, I'll find it myself. So Rebecca's going to be living at the Salvatore house, which is going to be the most fun meshing of personalities I've ever seen.
I can't wait.
This is going to be like an episode of Vampire Big Brother or some shit.
Ooh, that'd be fun to watch.
Can't wait to see who gets voted out of the house next week. I'll be honest, I haven't watched a lot of Big Brother.
Damon, who's the head of household.
But also it'll be fun because you have sort of Ripper evil in Stefan, and then you have just more of like a neutral evil in Rebecca.
Yeah.
And then you have dumbass evil in Damon. They can make up the whole D&D alignment chart if they so choose.
I was about to say, can we make an alignment chart?
Oh my god.
At high school,
Yay!
Bonnie and Jeremy are meeting up, and Jeremy worries that he and Bonnie are on the rocks, which, good job, genius.
I wonder why.
You figured that one out. I wonder why that could be.
Jeremy's really being stupid,
He's also, though, yeah, he's just a dumb boy.
Yeah.
He is.
So Bonnie is like, yeah, I mean, I'm okay with you seeing Vicky and Anna, but you never technically broke up with them and they just died.
Yeah.
So you have a choice whether you willingly let them enter your brain or not.
And
That's
also
very true.
the fact that he never told her originally what was going
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
Like
I
that
feel like
is
if
what rubs me the wrong way. If he would have told her and then Bonnie would have just been like upset, but like maybe she would have gotten over it. It's the fact that he like it was happening for so long, like literally over the summer, and he didn't say anything. That's what makes it even more messed up.
Yeah, he had so many opportunities to tell her, and Bonnie literally handed him a plate, like saying, "Hey, is everything okay?" And Jeremy was like, "Yeah, we're good." And it's like, dude, you could have just told her.
You
And-
could just been like, weird ghost shit's happening.
But we
You
all
look
know
good.
why. But we all know why he did it. We all know why he did it.
Because it was Anna and Vicky.
It's because you're emotionally cheating on your girlfriend, and you have to admit that.
It's because you're stupid, Jeremy.
Yeah.
You're just dumb.
Jeremy's dumb, but I love him. He's a cute little puppy dog.
Oh yeah, no, I still love
He
Jeremy.
He's just a dumbass.
Yeah,
He's a dumbass, but I love my dumbass.
We all have our emotional support dumbasses.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
We then go, still in Mystic Falls High School, we go to Matt. He pulls up to school, and Vicky appears in the passenger seat of his car next to him. They have a cute little exchange of like, well, you scared me. Stop popping up out of nowhere. And Vicky's like, I'm a fucking ghost. What do you want me to do here, bud? I mean, like, really, though.
I love it.
So, they sort of have a little sibling reminiscing moment about the year before. Vicky's worried about Matt. Matt's like, yeah, I feel alone, but like, I'm happy that you're back. And Vicky reveals that she has a way that she can come back.
What?
I know.
This is gonna end well. I mean, it worked really well when Bonnie brought Jeremy back.
And I'm sure it'll work really well when Matt, who's not magical or smart about this at all, tries it. I'm sure there's no way it can go wrong.
It's gonna go so perfectly. It's just, wow.
But before he can sort of find out more about how Vicky can come back, Tyler shows up in a very good, peppy mood.
Weird.
Love that for him. Weird. You're right. But also, he did just get turned into a vampire, and, you know, people's emotions get amplified when they're a vampire. Maybe he's just having a good morning.
Even as a werewolf, his emotions are heightened, so, like,
Yeah, now he's, like,
double heightened?
x4 on the emotions.
So, like, when he said in episode
2.
1 that, like, he was horny, is Tyler just extra horny now?
I don't want to talk about Tyler's horniness, actually.
I do.
I don't. Which is why we're going to hard cut to a tomb.
Ooh.
You still going to be horny in a tomb, Brian?
No.
We're in a cemetery where dead people are. Are you still horny now?
I'm not a necrophiliac.
Catherine is trying to feed Michael a mouse.
No,
She's
Mickey.
trying to get him some blood. You don't say that. We're going to get copywritten.
No, cartoon mouse.
No, cartoon mouse. No, extremely.
Literally,
extremely
there's
typical
so many
cartoon mouse.
There's so many cartoon like mouse or mice or mice related
Tom.
things you could have said.
Not Jerry.
Did you say Tom as in the cat?
I messed up. I forgot.
I know this is a weird continuity error where now his eyes aren't open anymore. Because at the end of the last episode, Michael, this guy in the tomb, his eyes were open.
Yeah.
Now they're not.
Why'd they do that?
We love a good continuity walk back.
What was the reason?
Dramatic effect.
I guess, yeah.
Damon is calling, wondering how things are going on getting him. He's like reminding her that they need Michael to kill Klaus, and Catherine's like, oh, I'm gonna give it another fucking shot, but nothing's fucking working here. So she's having a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's struggling here.
She's not having a good day. Back at school, Damon calls Elena, warning her that Rebecca's now at the boarding house and left behind by Klaus. Hey, Brian, can we talk about how you called it the boarding house for the first time in literal years in your notes?
Yeah. I got
Hate
bored.
that.
I'm sorry.
Hate that. Rebecca's now staying at the Salvatore house and was left behind by Klaus, and Elena's sort of worrying about Stefan, but Damon doesn't tell her anything about it. Great. Love that. Love that we're just letting people not have information about their boyfriends, which is super cool.
That's all that Damon does, ever. All the time.
Yeah. Elena spots Caroline putting up flyers for the beginning of the year bonfire, and Caroline's worried that Elena won't show, but Elena's like, no man, I'll be there. I want to have fun.
She wants to let loose.
She wants to let loose. Tyler shows up and kisses Caroline, and Elena and Caroline realize that Tyler has blood on him. So they pull him into the bathroom to clean him up, and Caroline's like, well, don't wear your breakfast to school, dumbass.
I just love how Caroline, how they just pulled him into the bathroom. Very similar to something that happened in the pilot. I wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why they're doing that. Also, because I found this fun fact in the TVD Wiki, this is actually the 50th episode of the Vampire Diaries.
Oh, really?
Yep, this is the 50th episode. We have been 50 episodes since season 1.
Done so much.
And we are 50 episodes away from my next favorite episode.
We've done so much.
Ouch.
We've done so much, but we still have such a long way to go because there's 170 episodes of the Vampire Diaries.
Yep, Vampire Diaries is the longest running vampire show on television.
Unfortunately. In the bathroom, Tyler reveals that Rebecca is giving him blood bags because Klaus wants to protect his newest asset.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah. But Tyler seems into it, so, if Tyler's into it, that's all right.
Tyler's into being a beta.
Stop saying things.
What?
Your words have consequences. Your words have consequences.
They do.
And you just say things with reckless abandon.
Mm-hmm. I do.
Some of us have to listen to the things you say. I know you don't listen to this podcast, but I do, and there are people who do. About 30 people per week listen to this podcast.
I'm sorry, y'all.
And you just say things.
I do.
Elena leaves the bathroom, walking right into Stefan.
That parallel.
Love that for them, but also hate that for them. And also hate that for us. Basically, Stefan states that he's only here to keep an eye on Elena. And that he really doesn't want to be a high schooler for the 100th time.
I mean, who wouldn't?
I wouldn't.
No.
Although, if you were a vampire and already knew everything and it really didn't matter, I think high school would be a lot more fun.
Would it?
Yeah.
If it didn't matter,
You also compel your teachers to say, yeah, I gave you my assignment. Now give me an A.
I can't even, comprehend having a good high school experience.
Yeah, listen, don't think about it too hard. The steam's gonna start coming out of your ears. Stefan's basically just here to keep an eye on Elena.
Mm-hmm.
He's here to keep an eye on Klaus's blood bag or whatever. And Elena's trying to get away, but Stefan keeps pulling her in the other direction. Alaric intervenes, and Stefan pushes him up against the lockers, straight up is fronting on him. Some alpha male bullshit here.
Mm-hmm.
Basically warning Rick that he shouldn't get in the way.
Yeah. This is not the Stefan we know and love.
Nope.
It's not. In history class, Elena's talking to Alaric about why Stefan is looking after her, and she says that they really need to do something to stop Stefan.
That's going to end well.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm so sure it's going to work out so well, as every one of their harebrained schemes does. So as everybody settles in for class, they begin to talk about the real founders of the country, the Native Americans.
As you should.
And then they gloss right over that one.
And then they just completely skate over it because Rebecca walks in to ask about the real founders of the country, the Vikings.
Happy Leif Erikson Day. Hinga dinga thurgen.
Copywritten.
No, it's not.
I assume anything from SpongeBob could be
SpongeBob's a free meme now.
I'm pretty sure that's not true.
It's free real estate.
Is it?
I don't know.
Absolutely is not.
Exactly.
But I think we'll get by with that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we won't. And then I'll only have Brian to blame when this podcast has to go down in flames because he can't stop making references to media that happened 2 years ago.
You're welcome.
Hey, bud, the copyright's still there. The lawyers still have teeth. Rebecca is now a student at Mystic Falls High. I'm happy for her.
Yeah.
She's doing something fun again.
She's never been
getting
to
a
high
20th
school.
century education. Yeah, she's now getting in there because she was asleep from the 1920s until now. So, she's getting in here, getting a new decade, new education. I'm happy for her.
Me too.
Matt is lurking around in the stoner pit to try and summon Vicky. Vicky reveals that she has help on the other side, a powerful force, and that she can come back if he helps. And before he can get more information, Jeremy shows up and breaks off that conversation. So he walks off, and Matt sort of wonders if he can still see her. And Vicky reveals that there's another witch on the other side to help bring her into this plane of existence. With this, Vicky will be able to come and go as she pleases, and Matt won't be alone.
Yep.
The brilliant part of this scene. This scene and the next one are kind of tied together. I know Brian kind of wrote them. We kind of wrote them out separately, but they're very tied together here because as soon as Jeremy leaves from the stoner pit, he has a talk with Anna in the bathroom about what he saw and about that Matt is now talking to Vicky.
Yeah,
and so he is sort of Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the way that they do that is so good
It
because
is.
Matt said something along the lines of, or no, Vicky asks if Jeremy saw her or whatever, and then it cuts to Jeremy talking to Anna about seeing Vicky, and it's so good.
And like they sort of like mirror each other.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
Anna's like, well, if she has help from the other side, that's very bad. And Vicky's like, well, I have help from the other side, and it's a very good thing, and I can come back.
yeah. That was
Yeah,
that
it was
well
very hard
done.
writing this one out without trying to clump up the notes, but it's definitely a
They're
really
just
well
very
done
they're
scene.
just very cut together. It's a
Yeah.
very good scene. It reminds me almost, I don't know, Brian, I don't think you were on this episode, but Jordan, do you remember the first Miss Mystic Falls episode where they were interviewing
Yeah,
Oh
interviewing
yeah.
all the girls, and it was doing that very 2000s cutting method where
Yeah.
they're just like everybody's saying like the answers to the questions, and the
Yeah.
questions are kind of
It's just
going
ve-
around the
that type of-
contestants, and you never have to see them.
that type of cutting is so pleasing to me. It just feels very like complete and like it complements one another very well.
It's so good when it's done right, and this is a very good example of this done right. We can't even really explain that scene well because it's just something you have to see, and you're like, oh, this fits very well together like a good puzzle.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I do so love a good fucking puzzle.
Mhm.
So, it's football practice time, baby. It's the end of the day, apparently. And time is an illusion. And cheerleaders are practicing, the football team is running. Caroline's like, well, where the fuck is Dana? Which really makes me wonder, has nobody told Caroline that Dana did die like last night?
No, it was the head cheerleader, the other cheerleader.
Are there
It
two
wasn't
Danas?
Caroline.
Are there
No.
two Danas?
No.
Oh, no, the other cheerleader, yeah, sure, was wondering where Dana was. Okay, yeah, no.
And Caroline's like, uh-oh.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, are there two fucking Danas?
No.
Don't tell me the show is that stupid.
No.
Because the head cheerleader wonders where Dana is, Rebecca takes the opening spot on the team. She's a cheerleader now, and I love her so goddamn much.
I love that she just was like, oh, you have an empty spot? Great. Hi, I'm here.
Literally in my notes, I have Rebecca, you're the prettiest cheerleader. Just, I adore you. I just like Rebecca a lot.
I mean, who doesn't?
So she and Caroline exchange some very good mean girl words.
Bitchy banter.
And I do so love some good bitchy banter.
Yeah.
See, here's the difference between, like, the bitchy banter between Caroline and Rebecca is very good, but the bitchy banter we had between Elena and Damon was bad.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why why Caroline and Rebecca's was better. Women. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I'm gonna go now. Bye.
Women.
She's gonna go?
Oh, she actually left. Hi, welcome to a TBD Afterbite podcast.
Can't even do it
Can't
right.
even fucking say the podcast name.
Can't even do it right.
I had a stroke.
It's not that hard. It's not even that
I'm
hard.
stupid. We know this. I am so stupid.
I literally get up and give you guys the room to make a good joke, and you fumble it so bad.
I didn't even fumble it. I did not fumble it. That
me.
was all
I did a
Brian.
flip and I did not make that landing.
TVD after my pot. Like, what the fuck?
TBD After My Podcast. Welcome. 10 years, 22 years, 2,000 years too late.
You guys are the worst.
That's
Not
literally
you, Jordan.
not
You're perfect.
on me.
That was just
Hate Brian, not me. Okay.
Don't worry. He already hates me. It's okay.
This shit's so fucking dumb.
It is.
Tyler compels the coach to let them get out of football practice early.
Which works, obviously.
Mm-hmm. And Caroline's like, well, you should maybe be a little more fucking careful next time, Tyler. And he's like, no, it's fine. I got it in control. And then before sort of they can continue this conversation, Rebecca's showing off by doing multiple backflips and then goes
Which-
right into the splits.
I mean, iconic only.
It's so iconic.
I love how Rebecca's kind of like the anti-Caroline, though. Like, she's like the evil twin version of Caroline.
Maybe that's why I don't like her.
You'll get there.
You will
It's
get
okay.
there.
Elena is jogging around sort of the after-school practice field, and who appears beside her but Stefan.
Yeah.
Stefan asks if she's going to the bonfire tonight, and another guy sort of like accidentally crashes into Elena, and Stefan just like fucking pushes this dude down. Just
a
fucking
dick.
yeets this guy to the ground.
Such a dick.
It was just like so like out of like it's so weird because I want to say it's so out of character of Stefan to do that, but I'm like, it's also not Stefan. It's just I hate this, but I love it. It's evil. Julie Plec, why do you got to do this to me?
It's a good storyline, man.
It really is.
Back in the tomb, Catherine pours blood over Michael's face, and he wakes up and he's like, "Get it the fuck away from me!"
Yep.
And
Wonder why.
Kat realizes that she knows him from the 20s. He was the guy who was looking around for Klaus.
He's a cop.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little quick scene, but it kind of makes you wonder, like, why doesn't Michael want to be woken up? Or why doesn't he...
Or why does he not want this blood?
Yeah, like, what's wrong with this blood? Do you want, like, virgin blood? Like, dude, what do you want?
When I first saw this scene, I was like, he probably just really hates being a vampire because he's a vampire hunter. So he's like, I don't want to
Or he
deal
just
with
hates
existing.
Klaus.
He's like, I don't want to deal with existing as a vampire. This is why I was locked up like this.
Yeah, I was actually just vibing over here. You didn't need to come get me or anything.
Yeah.
I was just chilling.
He was waiting for his moment.
So let me go to, did this scene happen in Alaric's apartment? I couldn't tell where
Yes.
this scene was happening.
It was Alaric's apartment.
Which has apparently been turned into like a home gym. Because Elena's
Yeah.
bench pressing her anger out. And she asks Damon's help to take Stefan down and lock him up until Michael comes to kill Klaus and the compulsion is broken and everything is a-okay. However, Damon points out that this is going to be different because Stefan's humanity is gone.
Yeah.
And she, she's like, well, I'm not going to break and I'm not going to give Stefan the satisfaction of knowing that I'm the fragile human. And then... hey, y'all know that one scene in every romance movie where there's like, they're either learning to shoot like a bow and arrow or a gun or something, and the guy just gets up right behind the person to like place their hands correctly and stuff?
Yeah.
Damon does that, but like with the correct way to kill a vampire.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think you can tell by the silence how much we loved that.
Made me very uncomfortable.
Yeah. This scene was 100% written for those fan edits.
Bad vibes all around.
It just felt weird.
It felt
even
very
I was
weird.
like, even like 16-year-old Brian was like, why are we doing this? But Damon did say one of my favorite lines. Because he does reference my favorite TV show, Buffy. He goes, come on, Buffy. I'm like, yes!
It's such a low-hanging fruit as far as references to Buffy go.
Yeah. The bar is so low.
We go back to Mystic Falls High School. In the history classroom, everybody's kind of putting together a plan to help put Stefan down long enough to get him into the Lockwood cellar.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a crack team of dumbass Avengers again.
We already love that on
And
here.
honestly, last time we had a team of dumbass Avengers, it went okay. We got Masquerade out of it.
We did.
So I'm hesitantly hopeful. Tyler shows up here as Elena asks for him to sort of raid his mom's vein supply, but Tyler refuses to help, saying that it's not in Klaus's best interest.
That's weird.
This point, Damon sort of pieces it together and puts Tyler down with a syringe. He reveals that Tyler is sired to Klaus because Klaus was the one who made him into a hybrid, and so Caroline is like asking how to fix him, but Damon's just like, nah, fuck it, get a new boyfriend.
The sire bond is, that was a game changer.
Honestly, yeah. It also is wild to me that in this scene, Damon does one useful thing of like, well, this is a sire bond. This is sort of like how it works. And then proceeds to just do more dumb shit like get a new boyfriend. He
Yeah.
proceeds to be helpful and then immensely unhelpful in like the next moment.
Well, I have to think, like, because he also said that sire bonds were super rare. So at this point, no one really knows how to deal with them.
That's true.
So it's kind of like, well, how do we deal with it? It's like, well, great. Gotta get rid of Tyler now. So that just put a big target on Tyler's
But
back at this
also,
point.
but also, that's just like Damon's response to everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, oh, this
Knock him
thing is
down, deal with it
bad.
later.
Time to get rid of them. I don't know what else to do. I'm not
Bye.
smart enough to think of a plan and steps to get somewhere. No, I'm David, and I just think bad thing. Let's get rid of it by killing it or knocking it out.
Yeah.
He's just like, let's just take this problem and move it over there.
Exactly.
We're just gonna take this problem and lock it up for a while.
Yeah, that's a smart one.
So they do actually make a plan to deal with Stefan. The plan is basically that Damon's gonna distract Rebecca while Elena gets Stefan away from the party, and then Rick shoots him in the back with vervain darts. Great.
That works. Let's see.
Good
Let's
work.
do it. Let's see how it goes, guys.
I do want to point out this line here that Alaric and Damon are still kind of fighting here. So Damon's like, well, how the fuck do I distract Rebecca? Elena just was like, well, occupy her with your charm. And Rick replies, you might have more luck finding a fucking dagger instead. I love when Damon and Rick are fighting. I love it here.
It's good.
It's very good.
It's just so good.
Because now Alaric has no reason to be friends with Damon. He has no reason to, stick up for him. It feels very reminiscent of when Elena and Damon were fighting. And Elena was like, I'm done with your BS. Let's just point out all your stupid flaws and let me make fun of you while I can do that.
And I love that for her.
Me too.
And I love that for us because I love it when Damon gets roasted.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
That's truly all I care about. We go to the woods. It's bonfire night, baby.
Yay!
It is just a huge ass party in the woods with just copious amounts of alcohol and teens doing dumb shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is gonna end perfectly. Because you know what happened at the last bonfire? Vicky was attacked by Damon.
Oh
Yeah,
my
they really
God.
did just make it sort of a retelling of the last first day of school that we saw, huh?
Yeah, it is the 50th episode, so might as well go all out.
And just repeat everything.
Because they just parallel a whole bunch, but it was also so
Yeah.
long ago that you're just like, wow, a lot of time has passed and also no time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Elena her plan is just to drink.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
Like
she
a
deserves
lot.
it.
Because that will distract Stefan in trying to keep her safe. And, she has to do minimal work besides just getting real tipsy.
Mhm.
So, love that for her. Seems like a fun, low effort plan on her end, actually, of just like, well, I'm going to get really drunk and then probably I'll do something stupid that you'll need to deal with. And I
Yeah.
love that.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time as the bonfire in the woods, Matt is beginning a ritual to be more in touch with Vicky. He's going back into a horror movie. Shit's breaking in his house. He bleeds onto like a picture frame. There's candles. It's dramatic, but Vicky is now back.
But also the fact that he literally took the knife and cut across his entire hand. And was like, here's a little bit of blood. You don't need to cut across your entire hand to do that.
I know. They do this a lot, though. I think the other
Yeah.
time that Elena had to do some sort of blood-based spell, they just always cut across the palm of their hands, and, like, I get that it looks cool, but that hurts like a motherfucker.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
fact that he's not even
ugh.
wincing like enough is just like what?
Matt's a strong boy.
He's a strong boy, but also the palm of your hand hurts.
Yeah.
And they do it so slowly too. Like I would understand maybe if it was like a quick cut and then you just did it because you don't feel it as much, but you're literally just slowly going across your hand. Like that hurts.
Also, a cut on the palm of your hand is going to take forever to fucking heal because it's always, like, moving and you're deflecting it all the time because it's your fucking hand. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
just do some sort of cut further up your arm a little bit. Like, I know it doesn't look as dramatic, but damn, y'all. You good?
Do your finger. Just break your finger and then blip, 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 blip.
Takes a while, but it'll happen. So Vicky is having fun being a ghost, and she reveals to Matt the deal that she made with the mysterious witch. She says that hybrids can't survive, as she needs to basically be the one to restore balance to nature.
Mm-hmm.
Matt thinks that she's gonna go kill Tyler, and Vicky's like, "No, I'm not gonna kill Tyler. I'm gonna kill Elena."
What a twist.
Yep. Very twisty.
I assume Tyler was like number 2 on the list, though, right?
Probably, yeah.
Like, Elena to stop him from making any new hybrids, cool. Number 2, any existing hybrids.
First step, Elena. Second step, Tyler. Third step, Prophet.
Yeah, so Bonnie is angry that Jeremy didn't come to her first, which, yeah, correct.
I would be
Uh,
pissed too.
And Anna's just like, well, I'm just trying to help. And Bonnie's like, nah, fuck this. And she leaves. She's trying to go stop Matt from bringing Vicky back, which you're just like a scene too late, Queen.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In the woods. Brian, can we talk about this sentence that you wrote?
Yeah.
As Elena watches everyone have a fun and normal night. I don't like the way you wrote out fun and normal night to describe a kegger in the woods.
You know what? You know what? To these teens, that's normal to them. For Elena, this is like, whatever. I was trying to have fun with it, okay? I'm sorry. Also, this is like the 3rd episode I wrote in that day, and I was just, ugh.
So, this is not a fun and normal night, folks. This is,
No.
again, just an absolute fucking kegger in the woods.
Yes, it is.
And Rebecca is trying to make s'mores. Elena stares at them as Damon sort of comes up and helps her make s'mores. And
Yeah.
also, can we talk about how weirdly sexualized that marshmallow scene
Yeah.
was?
It was very
I
sexual.
liked it. It was funny.
It was funny.
But she just
I liked it. It was fun.
deep-throated a burning hot marshmallow.
She's fine. But yeah, it was sexualized.
It was just weirdly sexualized. Like I've come to expect a certain level from the Vampire Diaries. This was like, y'all good?
That was a little too
Yeah.
much. But honestly, actually, you know what? With how this episode has been progressing so far with the sexual elements of it all, yeah, that falls in line. We just remember the scene where where Damon is showing Elena how to kill a
Yeah.
vampire.
Yeah.
So
It's all steamy.
It's just-
steamy like a marshmallow.
Who wrote this episode?
Caroline Dreas and Julie Pluck.
no, you're kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Nope.
They actually wrote this episode.
Mm-hmm.
These two.
I don't know what these two are up to.
I don't know what they're up to.
They're up to chaos, and I
I
love
don't know
it.
what's on their agenda.
It's not the
Their
gay agenda. I
agenda
can
is
tell you that much.
Delena. And that's it. And pushing that. And
The
it's very
Delena
important that they
agenda.
push that. Elena leaves the party drunk, and she's just like, fuck it, don't want to deal with this all tonight. As she's like staring at Damon flirting with Rebecca.
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca takes a beat and begins to wonder why Damon is being nice to her. And so she's like, you're up to something shitty. So she stabs him there with a stick and leaves.
I love that.
Iconic.
I love that. Okay.
And like, Rebecca, you're so powerful.
Like,
She really is.
there's something about eating a marshmallow that you just roasted off of a stick and then stabbing a guy with it, you know?
Something about that can be so personal.
Yeah. So personal to me.
Rebecca's my emotional support vampire. I have a lot of them, but Rebecca's mine. She also says to Damon that there's never going to be a fair fight between them, and she's correct.
Yeah.
She's older and better at this than Damon is, and I do so love that.
Yeah.
And as Bonnie leaves, Bonnie's like bouncing out of the party now to go help Matt. Vicky shows up.
I also love that. I think she takes a joint too. Like, that's
Oh,
so
yeah.
Vicky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was like, yeah.
I love that about her. Just such good character work from the ladies this
They're
episode.
doing a great job.
I mean, we talked a little, the sexualization of that marshmallow scene, a little weird, but she made up for it. So, like, maybe, ladies, maybe we're winning today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the Lockwood house, Tyler wakes up and Caroline and is like, "Yo, when the fuck did I get home?" And Caroline's like, "Well, you were being a dick."
Which is correct.
Oh, I love when she just calls them out. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, even if, like, Caroline will just call out anybody, even if she's dating them. She's like, "You're being a dick."
And I love that about her.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's always been someone who is like straightforward with people. I remember her even being that way with Matt, where she's like,
The
"Oh,
honesty police.
yeah," and like I don't think they like that, but guess what? That's what you're getting when you get involved with Caroline.
Yep, you're getting the brutality.
She's not mean, but I love it.
She just says it
She's
how it
brutally
is.
honest.
She just says it how it is.
She's the friend that you need to tell you, "Hey, you're messing up. It's time to change."
Exactly. And I think we all need someone like that in our lives.
Yeah.
Tyler also says the very sweet line that everything that he likes about himself is because of Caroline. Like, I love that.
That was sweet.
That's
He really
codependent
knows.
as fuck, but I love that.
I know, but he's perfect.
Yes, but also Tyler's on thin ice with me.
He's
Tyler's
treading
having
on
a rough go of it right now.
He really is. Tyler, I can't blame Tyler for what's happening.
I'm not blaming
Well,
him for
I
what's
can.
happening. I'm just saying I don't trust him. Even though he's being really sweet, I
Yeah.
can't trust him, you know? Like,
Okay.
I love
That's
that, but
fair.
also I don't trust you.
Yeah. That's valid. So we go somehow, Elena drunkenly walks all the way back to Mystic Falls High School and up to the top row of the bleachers.
Which, I mean, iconic.
Honestly, yeah. I love this scene. So she's trying
Me
to
too.
recount like all the stars that she knows. Like she used to know all the constellations or whatever. And she sort of like on her way down the bleachers, she decides to take the outside route where she can just fall off of the bleachers. Very cool, Elena. Very cool. But like it's a leap of faith, you know, like she knows Stefan's gonna catch her. Maybe right
Yeah.
now it's not for the good reasons, but at least she knows Stefan's gonna catch her. So Stefan rushes over to save her as she sort of like falls off of the edge of the bleachers. And Alaric basically uses that to shoot Stefan in the back a bunch of times.
Perfect.
We love that for you.
I love this Delana scene because it's just.
It's just good.
I just love how she goes from being that goofy drunk to being like, "I knew you'd catch me," like, oh, and like even fucking Paul, you can even see like a glimmer like of that like Stefan we once knew, like glimmer, like a slight little like twinkle, and then that's it, it's gone again. But like,
Oh,
So
the
good.
stares,
So good.
the staring in this episode is intense, and I love it.
the longing is so real.
I love it so much.
So, over at like
The history classroom, I think again.
are they in the history classroom? Okay. I don't know
Yeah.
why these kids are running around school in the middle of the night. Bonnie is questioning Matt, trying to figure out exactly what he did so she can send Vicky back, and Matt sets up to like help the spell. Matt helps her set up the spell so they can begin the process of reversing the damage.
Yep.
Elena and Alaric load Stefan into the back of his car, and as they're trying to get him out of there, Vicky takes one last drag of her joint and throws it into the trail of gas, and Alaric's car catches on fire, and Vicky is trapping Elena inside the car.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Vicky, like, of all things to do, like, I mean, this is awesome though, like, that Vicky can do all this.
Oh yeah, it is awesome.
It's amazing. But, like, damn, Vicky, this is dark.
Especially for
Yeah, man.
that to be the way you die. Like, burning hurts. Because it's
Elena really has a problem in dying in car, like, almost dying in cars,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't she?
Exactly.
Like, this is like the fourth time this has happened to her, probably.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
Elena, stop. Elena, don't go in cars anymore. Get a horse.
Just don't. Alaric's trying to break her out, basically like through the windows and everything, but he just can't. And Elena turns to Stefan to wake him up. Stefan kicks open the trunk, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Stefan kicks open the trunk, and Alaric helps get them both out just in time for the car to explode.
Well, you forgot
Dramatic.
while they were trying to get out, right? Vicky was trying to hold on to Elena so that she'd stay in the car. And then Vicky got transported out of there by Bonnie doing that spell.
Yeah, so at the same time that this is happening, Bonnie is doing the spell, and she's like, Matt, you have to say goodbye, and you have to let go of Vicky.
Yep.
And Matt and Vicky kind of share a final moment, and he sends Vicky away for good.
It's really heartbreaking a little bit. It's a little heartbreaking.
It is. It is.
Matt. It's
Matt's
like he thought he was getting his sister back, like, for the good, but then he realized it was for the bad.
Yeah.
And that it would put his friends in danger, so he had to do the right thing. So, like, good on Matt for doing that.
Yeah.
I really should have listened in the first place, but, you know,
he tried. He did his best.
So we go to the Salvatore house, where Damon is helping Elena apply first aid, and it's weird.
It is weird. This scene was a little weird. It kind of felt like, meh, it's here.
Yeah. That's how I feel with all Delena scenes. It's like, eh, it's here, I guess. So Alaric kind of grabs her, and they make their way out of the house to go home. At the Lockwood house, Caroline's leaving Tyler, and after Caroline leaves, Rebecca shows up with a girl bitten and dripping blood, and she says that she wants to make sure that Klaus's hybrid is well fed. So there's some temptation going on a few levels here for poor Tyler Lockwood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's like the temptation of blood, but also the temptation of Rebecca.
Exactly. So we cut to now again, for the first time in a while, we cut back to the tomb. Catherine and Michael are continuing their little chat, and I do have to say, I love how dorky this scene looks, because the guy who plays Michael is very strong and buff, and he's right now just like chained up. He just looks like a dumb mummy.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the dichotomy of this scene where Catherine's just like chilling at the edge of the coffin, just like with her head on her hands, just like hanging out and talking, and he's just chained up and being like, could you please not?
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
So Catherine says that she wants to kill Klaus, and Michael reveals that he does have a way to kill him. He just needs to be unchained. So Catherine unchains him, and he says that he doesn't feed on living things. And then he bites Catherine.
Oh.
And then you're like, oh, this is not going to end well.
I remember watching, like, when this first happened, when Michael said, I don't feed on living things. And I was like, so you feed on dead animals?
Yeah.
It's like, so you're another Stefan?
So I'm like, you're just a veggie vamp? And then he grabs Catherine and feeds on her. I legitimately thought Catherine was dead.
I think Catherine is dead at this point.
Oh no, she's fine.
My note says, "Is Catherine dead?" ?
Yeah, because it's going to be a while before we see Catherine again. I'm going to tell you that much.
We just
So it's
ruined
like,
the illusion.
Yeah,
yeah,
Brian, you really just kind of bungled that one, huh, boy?
I did.
Catherine gets her fucking shit bit by this vampire hunting vampire hunter.
I love that little twist.
That was a
It
big
is.
good
It's a
twist.
wild
That was a
twist.
good twist.
We cut back to the Salvatore house where Elena and Alaric are leaving, and Stefan sort of like comes out and he's like, "Hey man, game well played. Y'all really fucking got me tonight, huh?" And he also states that Elena still needs him and that he's always gonna protect her. And then he asks why Elena saved him and didn't let him die. Elena basically states that she still has hope that Stefan will find his way back to his humanity. And then, in just like the most raw fucking line, he's like, "Well, that's what. Do you have any idea how pathetic that makes
And I
you?"
was like, fuck you, Stefan. Fuck you for saying
Mhm.
that.
And then Elena replies with it, "No, it makes me strong." And
Yeah.
she stabs Stefan with the retractable, like, punchy stakes and
And
just
it works.
leaves.
And it works because in the beginning of the episode, it didn't work at all. But for this punch to Stefan, it worked. And I was like,
It was
girl,
beautiful.
yes.
It was beautiful. It was like full circle moment.
Feminism.
So, Elena's just having a fucking day.
Yeah.
She is, but I love her.
At the Gilbert house, Jeremy's trying to find. He's like been calling Bonnie a bunch. He just can't seem to get a hold of her, or she's just ignoring him. Rip, Jeremy. Anna is also there, and she wonders why she's still here. And Jeremy reveals that he's pretty much not sure what the fuck he's doing, but he can't stop thinking about Anna. And Anna's like, "Well, I can't stop thinking about you either."
Oh.
And then you're like,
And
is Jeremy gonna have a love affair with a ghost?
and they touch hands, and they realize that they can feel each other.
Uh-oh.
But the question is, why?
Yep.
That's not good.
Nope.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Shit's about to get real complicated, baby.
This is a great end of the episode, though. Like, great ending. Like, wow.
That's
such
not
a...
the end.
What?
That's not the end.
That's not the... what
Not the
happens
end.
next? Where do we
Go back
go?
to the Salvatore house.
Oh,
where
my favorite
Damon's
house.
trying to, like, clean up the fucking rugs.
The
And
Persian rugs.
I don't care what kind of rugs they are. They're
I
rugs.
care.
A mysterious force is sort of like running around the house messing with him. And then somebody fucking yeets Damon across the room.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera pans up and it reveals none other than Mason Lockwood.
Yes!
And he just says, "This will be fun."
Oh, I loved this ending so much because because obviously I know what happens in the next episode, but like watching this live, it was like, oh wait, what?
Yeah.
I love the trope when like a bunch of past villains come back to torture the hero in new ways. It is one of my favorite tropes of all time. And now they're like, Anna's back, Mason's back, Vicky was back. Who else is gonna come back?
Literally anyone
makes
could
you
come
wonder.
back.
Literally anyone.
I'm so excited. This makes me very excited for the next episode.
Me too.
The next episode has a dorky ass name, but I'm okay with it.
Ghost World. I'm okay with it.
Ghost World.
I'm okay with it though. Mwah.
Ghost World is actually the name of my indie band.
Oh.
Really?
No.
Oh.
That's
Ghost World.
Ghost World is actually the name of my favorite episode of Scooby-Doo.
Oh.
I'm kidding. Hey,
Oh.
Jordan, what are you going to rank episode 306, Smells Like Teen Spirit?
I think this was a very good episode, you know? Like, I think Elena's arc throughout this entire episode I really enjoyed watching.
Mhm.
And then we also had the whole Tyler situation where he was kind of being a dick, just being a good old dick. And I don't think he's gonna stop being a dick, which kind of sucks. And then the Matt storyline too, that was also really good, where
Yeah.
he's like having like his final moments with his sister Vicky. And I honestly, I really enjoyed this episode. I guess the only thing I really didn't like were like the overly sexual scenes and the Delana scenes. You know,
Yeah.
I could have done with less of that. So I guess I'd give it like a 9. It's pretty good.
A 9. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian, what are you giving this episode?
I love this episode purely because of the nostalgia of it all. It brought us back to season 1, which is a good season, even though it's not the best season. I loved like the little parallels. I loved the Delana stuff. I'm gonna get a lot of hate here, but I did like the Delana stuff, the longing of it all. Like it wasn't like in your face, like we can't be together, Damon, because I'm in love with Stefan. I loved like the reveals we got, like of Michael, of the ghost, of Tyler. Like I loved all that, so I'm going 10.
Alrighty, this is your first 10 of season 3.
Yep, this one like the last episode I did 9.5, I think.
Mhm.
This one was just pushed over the edge. Like it just did that like extra step, like those reveals. Like, oh, we're on a good streak with Vampire Diaries now, and I'm excited.
I'm psyched. Here's the thing. I gave the last episode a 10 because it was fucking bonkers from beginning to end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think this episode kept up the same level of bonkers.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, not as consistently bonkers. However, still pretty fucking bonkers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna... I'm gonna... This is unlistenable as a podcast.
Yes,
this is
we are.
absolutely just unlistenable
Why do people
garbage.
listen to us? I don't get it.
I don't know. Because I do a lot of work to make the unlistenable stuff listenable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this episode a 9.
Okay.
There was too much Delana in it for my taste.
Mhm. Same.
And there wasn't a lot of tension that they kept up throughout the whole episode.
Mhm, yeah.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's what a lot of my 10s have in common, is that there was a tension kept up throughout the whole episode.
Yeah.
Like looking back into the ones that I gave in season 2, and then even the 110 I gave in season 1, all because there was just a lot of tension continually through the episode.
Mhm.
And I think that's really what made the last episode, The Reckoning, very good. I think this one sort of lost the tension a little bit. Still a very good, very fun episode of TVD.
I agree.
Yeah.
Hey guys, who's our MVP for this episode?
Oh, this is a hard one.
Can I bring something to the table?
Yeah.
Can I present this to you?
Yeah.
Rebecca.
I was not going to say Rebecca.
I mean, Rebecca does deserve to be on the table, like slightly.
I'm just bringing it to the table for our discussion.
I was
Bringing it to the
struggling between like Elena and Matt for this episode for me.
Matt for this episode.
Just because of the journey he went on.
He did go on a really good emotional journey.
Like I think that's what will make me like if like Matt for the emotional journey, but Elena more for like she had the journey plus like just like the really good scenes with Stefan. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I was stuck between those two, but I was feeling more Elena in my perspective. I was feeling way more Elena.
Matt and Rebecca do deserve like at least a consideration.
They need to be on the table. Yeah,
they need to be on the table, like at the table, not the kids' table. But I think Elena really
she brought it this episode.
She did the most. Like she was like, I want to fight back. I don't want to be weak anymore. I am done being a blood bag. Like I'm done. Like,
and there were like so many good moments. There was the moment by the bleachers. There was the moment near the end where she punched Stefan.
But I think the one thing I think I like though is that no one tried to stop her.
Yeah.
No one said, no, Elena, you can't do that. Not even Damon tried to stop her. which is
Yeah,
shocking.
I feel like for the first
Damon was like full on, like in her plan, like, yep, we got to lock up Stefan. Let's do
yeah,
it.
for the first time she was kind of in control of the situation, and people
The Elena train
think
was choo-chooed.
I think partially the reason why she's in a little bit more control might be because of the recent trauma that happened with Stefan. So people are more willing to like give her like, yes, you can do this. Like, you know,
Yep.
you need that. So yeah.
And the fact that the plan would have even worked.
Yeah. If it was not for Vicky.
If it wasn't for Vicky.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Elena deserves top 10, top number 1.
I agree with that. You okay with that,
Elena,
Elena?
Yeah,
my girl.
Elena.
You did it.
You made it.
I'm glad we brought these other ones to the table, but I do think in the end, Elena was sort of the real MVP of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she got shit done, and she did shit, and she even had like a full circle moment.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Oh, my
Delicious.
girl. My Nina, my queen.
You love to see it. You simply just love to see it.
You do.
Who would have thought we got in Elena? The main character, one of the main characters, like main characters of the show, finally on the MVP list.
I mean, to be fair, last episode we also had Stefan, which was kind of shocking. I didn't think we'd put a man on the MVP list.
Yeah, it's been shocking.
So
It's been a shocking couple of episodes.
That's it for this week. If you have anything if you want to add us on Twitter, we are at Afterbite Pod. If you want to find us on any other, podcasting platform or app that you use, go to anchor.fm/Afterbite. That's how you can find us on any platform, guaranteed. You can also leave us voice messages to tell us how dumb we are. Yeah. Join us next week. We'll be back. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. You know all that shit by now. I don't gotta keep saying it, do I?
No, you shouldn't.
Maybe I do.
You know where to find us. You know where we are.
You know who we are, and you know just how stupid we are. So let's not mince words about fucking reviews on Apple Podcasts or whatever. You know what you've signed up for here.
You do.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Anyway, that's it. Stay inside, stay safe, and wash your fucking hands.
Also, defund the police.
That too.
We have a lot of ands now at the end of this.
Yeah.
Brian keeps adding wear a mask. And Jordan and I are very much on this defund the police